this up. Just going to show you my deck, but first go have a look. In the description there's a link to a Discord server for the Broken Arrow OCE community. We're a small community at the moment. I know you're out there, but I've actually not played with anyone from New Zealand yet. You from Australia. Just get in there and we'll put together a team for the Broken Arrow World Series that is coming up. There's actually prize money that they've put together. Not a heap, but it makes it real, so that's cool. Some great work being done over there at Broken Arrow World Series. But yeah, if you're OCE, Australia, New Zealand, hit the link in the description for access to the OCE Discord. We mainly just play games in there and discuss decks, but it would be cool to put a team together. So, this is my refined deck after the 1.09 update, with the nerfs and the lack of leaving penalty and surrender option, which a lot of people are very angry about, but that's beside the point. So I'll just run through it. Recon to begin with. I got 4 snipers. Snipers are fantastic. They great vision, great stealth. Just dot them around. You just need vision. This game's all about vision, and you need it. And with it, I have 3 little birds. Don't have the sensors on them. Don't really see the need for it. It doesn't up the view distance by a whole lot, and yeah, I'm not generally pushing them really far. I'm just getting them up to the front line, and then I will drop off the snipers and walk them in. Sniper loadout is suppressed because I did previously have the philosophy that yes, the anti-material rifle can kill a lightly armoured vehicle, but realistically the most important thing is that these people aren't seen, so no need to spend the extra money there. Cav Scouts, only reason I have this is to get the CFE, which is the vehicle that they are transported in. Fully upgraded with top armour, APS, upgraded engine. These things are immense on your front line. They won't take on a tank push, but their vision just makes sure that the enemy can't drip feed anything to you, and you just set these up in positions that can see far, and they'll get eyes on for you the same way that a sniper would, but they can pack a bit of a punch and actually hold their own. And then the Cav Scouts, I don't like the Cav Scouts. They've only got 3 rockets. Otherwise, they would be brilliant if they had more, but you just always have to reload them. I sometimes use them like on the perimeter of an area that I'm trying to defend, but I generally don't get a lot of use out of them. STT, along with Rangers RRC, I kind of package these together. So the STT has 4 Stinger missiles. The Rangers have 4 Moors. That's like my early game. Good stealth, good optics to take a point quickly, and they can hold their own against, unless it's a full push. They can, they'll do damage, and they come in on Silent Hawks because 2 Silent Hawks can carry 2 Ranger RRCs and 2 STTs. The STT is just the pararescue with the upgrade, by the way, if you're looking for it. Just to give them the stinger. So, yeah, they'll come in on the Silent Hawk. Silent Hawk's another great vehicle because even if you lose the air battle at the start, the stealth on it and the speed, they usually make it into wherever you are trying to put them, unless the enemy is patrolling really well across the front line after winning the air battle. But yeah, really good opener there. Stick them in some buildings, and it'll buy you a lot of time to bring your main force up. Then got the Sentinels. They got made more expensive, which is probably a good thing because they're very, very good. You just sit these up a little bit behind your line, and the stealth means that they have quite good survivability. You still have to be careful because obviously a S300 can still hit it from quite far away, but you'll find a sweet spot on your front line where they can sit and not get killed. And then I just chucked a Reaper in here. It's more of a QRF or quick response force with some Hellfires on it. And, if they've managed to get a sneaky tank behind or a recon vehicle, this thing can just basically destroy it quite easily. So that's that's for sort of cleaning up the scraps. Into the infantry tab, this is quite stacked, and the core of this infantry tab really is the Ranger Moors and the Ranger Stingers. I like to use them to hold points. They do quite well if you position them well. The Moors, if you get 2 units stacked up, they just rip into vehicles. They fire very quickly because they've got three of the soldiers in the unit have the rocket launchers, and the unit carries 18 rockets. So that soaks up a lot of vehicle power, and then range Stingers, 2,000 meter Stinger missiles. You do have the option to give them a javelin, but that is not really what I have them for. So we'll keep them on Stinger, and then further to that, Delta Force are fantastic at killing infantry. Put any infantry up against Delta Force, they'll kill it. So you can use that to push, you can use that to hold, you can use that to clear. As long as you're getting them where you need them to be, that's the hardest bit. And because there's 12 of them, you need something reasonably large. So I currently bring them in on a Silent Hawk, but you could bring them in on a Warpig as well. I might just check what the options are. Yeah, it's only one of the two. I just like having the third Silent Hawk available anyway, just in case I need to use it, but sometimes I'll bring them in on a Warpig, depending on how far up the point is. Then I'm attacking. These Mark 47 grenade launchers are great for holding a point as well. They'll delete infantry from a distance, so they don't actually have to be in the building with them. They'll smoke infy, and they'll also kill lightly armored vehicles as well. So those 4, very good at holding. Rangers are kind of all purpose. They've got these roars that are not bad at killing vehicles as well, but they've also got a really strong loadout for killing infy. So these can kill at a distance other infantry, or they can be used to hold. They're kind of multi-purpose. And then the only reason I have Mech Rifleman AA and Mech Engineers is because of the vehicle that they come in, which is the AMPV. And that's fully decked out with the Javelin and Bushmaster 2 variant, and then full armor. This is an attacking vehicle. I use it similarly to how I'd use a tank. So I'd bring up some of these holding forces in those vehicles, and then I would push them up further to try and take some more ground. And I got 4 of them because they're just good. They kill. Yeah, the javelins are really good. They do great top damage where vehicle armor is usually weaker, and I did used to use the Bradleys, fully upgraded Bradleys, but I was recommended by someone in the YouTube comments to switch to these AMPVs, and they do actually work a lot better. So that means that I need to have these mech units to be able to take the AMPVs, and can't hurt to have extra AA. And these mech engineers do have these s'mores, which not great at penetrating armor, but there's 5 of them, so you can still get off a lot of shots with them if you need to bring them in, and they're very cheap. Then onto the vehicle tab, 1v3, 1v2, 2 regular Abrams, and 2 dusty ATGM carriers. Fully upgraded on the tanks. And I know it's an armoured Special Forces deck, so you're probably asking me, why are you not maxing out armour here? And I was again given a tip by someone that realistically, are you going to save up 800 odd for 2 V3s? The answer is usually no. If I had 800 available, 2 tanks probably isn't what I'd spend it on. And 1v3 with the right vision, with the right recon up, can do a lot of damage by itself. So I just don't see the need. And I like having the option of bringing out a cheaper tank if I don't have the money for a V3. These ATGM carriers, I mean, they're just really points fillers, extremely cheap. You can dot them around big open fields that you have vision over, and they've got 1600 meters range. If they can get shots on, they do a lot of damage, but they're very easy to kill, so I don't tend to use them a hell of a lot. Support tab has 3 supply carriers, and with these specializations, it's the only supply carrier that you can get. I saw someone having a whinge the other day on Reddit about how these specializations need a smaller supply carrier. I haven't really found any issues with it. It's not that quick, but it brings up enough to keep you busy. I mean, if you need more, just run 4 of them, but I find 3's plenty. Otherwise, I'm just managing too much. The rest of my support tab is made up of a solid AA net and 2 Pack 2s with the 4 missile upgrade. I don't have self-defense or armor. Some people say armor is worth it due to being able to fend off a 1 seed rocket. I don't know. I don't really see. For $10 it's pretty good, but I just don't know what I'd drop. If I could, I'd drop a Cav Scout, but it means I'd drop a CFV, so I just leave that off. And then 2 shore aids. Again, could have another one of them, but I just can't quite afford it with what I'm trying to do with the supply tab. I could definitely move something else for the total money, but the supply tab sort of needs everything that it has. And the shore aid's got the 30mm upgrade with stingers. You can actually keep it linebacker and it still takes the stingers, but you're losing 200 meters of range, and the 30mm does more penetration and more damage. And I find that 30mm is kind of multi-purpose in that it can smash infantry. So if they've pushed up, you've cleared out their vehicles, but they've just embedded some infi in a building near you, this thing can shoot at a range where the infantry can't hit you, and it can eat them up pretty quick. So it's kind of a dual purpose there. Mainly to take down helis, but if you need it to, it'll absolutely shred Infi. Armoured up, because I do have it nearish the front line. Sometimes I'll take it on a push with tanks as well. And then upgraded engine for the same reason, just fast. And I've got 1 PVADS here as well. This sits with the Patriots and just gets rid of seed, incoming seed, if I don't spot it and turn off radar. It's also, like, if you're getting rushed by like a heli flank or something like that, it does rip through them as well. It's not a bad little gun, because the packs by themselves, if you don't have the Shorads nearby, helis will actually just eat them. So the PVADS is just good to solidify that AA net. And if I can get all of that up, it can really dominate the air. As long as I'm keeping it supplied, it'll deal with crews, it'll deal with seed by itself. And like if seed's coming in, you do want to turn radar off, because you don't gain anything for shooting down a seed missile. But if it needs to and you forgot, then it's pretty self-sufficient. And they've got 2 Iron Thunders. These just basically, if you've got your recon set up and you're getting eyes on stuff, as soon as you see a supply dump, an enemy supply dump, just put a short burst on it, and you'll just start making the enemy have to turn around. And that's when you can really get front foot pressure on. I don't have 3 because, firstly, the cost of this AA net, but also you don't actually need it. I don't think having 3 is a massive difference to having 2. But yeah, got the Iron Thunder upgrade, just because that gives it more range, and it can be laser guided in. These can too, but they only have 6 of them. And why else are they better? I don't know what that means. Accuracy 150 meters. Damage actually isn't any different. I'm assuming if that's saying that it can fire 150, no, it doesn't make sense though. I don't know, but it works, so I'm not complaining. And I have up armored these because they always get countered, and although I do move them every time I fire a salvo, it just stops you from getting clipped and dying straight away to the counter battery. Now we're on to helis, and this is a tough one with these specializations because you've got so many options. A very popular option is the killer eggs, but I don't like the killer eggs because they are so weak. They just get killed. I know they're cheap, but I don't like to rely on them because the splash damage from a stinger can kill like 3 or 4 of them if they're clumped up. So instead I take Comanches, 2 of them. I deck them with 2 lots of stingers and 1 lot of 2 Hellfires. I take the radar upgrade as well. What's massive about this is the view distance at 2,500. That's better than the snipers, and almost as good stealth as well. So these can get really far up and see a lot before they even get noticed. That is why I have the couple of Hellfires on them. I know that I'll get crucified for having not having all stingers, because if they're ripple firing 3 lots of stingers, they do massive damage to air. But I like this thing to be able to get around the back if it needs to, and at least 2 of these helis will have a total of 4 Hellfires and can wipe something big, and then it can use its 20 mil to clean up, like, the long range AA and everything else in behind. But I don't like this being just a AA heli. Just for the pure fact that I think it's a lot better than that. But at the same time, I couldn't take less than 2 racks of stingers, because that's the advantage of it. It barely takes damage if the 2 of them are together taking on a heli. You've got a couple of guardians as well. Similar concept, but other way around. So each guardian has 8 fire and forget, expensive but very powerful missiles, and they've also got rockets, so they'll clear out any infi. They also do good damage on vehicles as well. And then I carry a few stingers as well on these. I don't like the RNG factor of ECM. I don't like that it's just a percentage chance on whether or not the missile hits, because then you can't predict anything with that. So I leave that off. And then again, I don't like having a guardian sitting there vulnerable to an alligator or a Catran. So I bring stingers with it as well, and that can come in very handy in a lot of ways. So that's mainly my helis. Then I just bring this Chinook purely for carrying capacity, and I do actually have the ECMs on this, and that is just because if I'm carrying something in with the Chinook, it's probably a lot of whatever thing it is. Like, it's a full load of supplies, or it's a few groups of infi. And if you're up at the front line where you think you can drop off, and for some reason you missed a tour or something with AA capability, it's really hard to back out with this. It's not very quick to turn around and move. So this is where that 25% I find is worth the extra money, because losing that whole heli is devastating. Whereas with the Guardian, you can just boost it back a bit and you usually make it out if you're quick enough. Lots of other options here, but yeah, even the Saw is a nice quick transport. DAP. You can load up the DAP as well with Hellfires and Stingers, and that can be a nice fighting heli as well. But yeah, they're my choices for helis. And then air, it's an interesting one. You can do this a few different ways. So I'm a big fan of the Raptor and the maxing out on the long range jet missiles. This usually holds its own at the start of the game, where you're trying to dominate the air, and you can bait with it. You can fire the missiles from 9,000 meters and just sit back. Once you've cleaned up the air, you've got a couple of sidewinders that can target helis as well. And it's expensive, but I stand by it. I reckon it's so worth it. In this deck, I have F-35As, 2 of them, each carrying 1 anti-radiation and 1 2,000 pound bomb. This is sort of a precision strike type aircraft that can lay damage with the 2,000 pounder, clear a building or kill a group of tanks, or just put it on a supply dump where you know that there's a few enemies. But then the harm helps it get in, because it distracts the S300 or Ante, and it's it's very rare that this doesn't get its bomb off. If it sort of 50-50 if it gets home, but it usually drops the bomb because the harm is there distracting. So I find them quite efficient. And then, just because I have extra points, this is just a transport, troop carrier, whatever. If you place this right as well, this can win you a game because you can just drop in a whole lot of infi and vehicles if you want to. And yeah, it usually gets in under radar pretty far. And as long as you've sort of made sure you're not extending it too far, you tend to get most of the troops out of it. And it can mean the difference between capping a point and not capping a point. I think it's just a good option to have up your sleeve. You can afford the Raptor with a B2 if you didn't want those two options. But it can't have a nuke. So you'd have to take the B2 with the 16 cruise missiles, which is pretty deadly, or the £30,000, which you get two of these, and they're actually quite good as well. I'm not a fan of the nuke. I think you have to hit a really solid amount of enemies to make that profitable, especially if you lose the plane. And the risk of losing it is quite high because although it's very quiet getting in, once it's dropped, it is slow. So it's not likely that it'll live. So that's why I don't like B2. But I mean, if you get these 16 cruise missiles, that's pretty nasty. Seeing 16 cruise missiles come at you, there's not really a chance to stop all of them. And yeah, that can be a really good option. Nighthawk as well. You can put 2 cruisers on that. This has got me out of a few situations before. Like you could even go 1 F-35. Could you get 2 Nighthawks? No, you can't. That would be cool. Yeah, this seems to work for me. This configuration I've got at the moment. And that rounds it right out to 10,000 points, which looks nice, and it's important. So that's my deck. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you find this useful. If you want to see a breakdown of other specializations or Russian stuff. And join up to the Discord, the OCE Discord. If you're not OCE, you can join as well. But yeah. We'll try and get a team together. Let's get competitive on this. This game will be really good if it can get a properly run competitive scene with decent people in it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.